morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we've got another Z crystal to be looking at. We've already seen Normalium Z. We've already seen Flyinium Z. Today, ladies and gentlemen, it is the turn of Dragonium Z. Now, this is actually being released as a gym promo over in Japan, so we don't know exactly how it's going to be released over here, but I feel fairly confident it will just be popped into one of our regular sets. Now, our translation here does come from the lovely Joe over at Cerebi.net, and according to the lovely Joe over at Cerebi.net, what it does is you attach it to a Pokemon that has the attack Dragon Claw, and then it gives you a GX attack. Remember, all of these Z crystals can only be used by a Pokemon with a particular move, but then it gives you a GX attack whether you are a GX Pokemon or not. And what it does for free colorless energy, you discard all basic energy attached to this Pokemon, and you do 80 damage for each basic energy that you discarded in this way. So really, most of the time, we're looking at probably 2 to 4. 2 does 160, that's the vast majority of your non-GXs. You've got your basics like stuff like Zapdos, but you're going right up to your stage 2s, things like Dragonite or Vikavolt, for instance, will all be going down here. If we get 3, then we're up to 240, and that will get pretty much all of your, well, it'll get most of your GXs. There's still the odd really big boys like Metagross that will survive, but generally you'll get them all. And then you'll get the lower end of your tag team GXs, your Pikachu and Zekrom, your Mimikyu and Gengar, etc. But then if you discard 4, you're up to 320, and that is literally everything up to and including Magikarp and Wailord Tag Team GX. So, really there are 2 questions when it comes to this card. Number 1, how are we getting the energy on there? And number 2, which Pokemon can actually use this attack? Now, one of the things to point out at the beginning here, this looks primed for triple acceleration energy. You can stick it on an evolved Pokemon. There are a bunch of evolved Pokemon that can use it. We'll go through the list, don't worry. And triple acceleration energy is free colorless energy when attached to an evolved Pokemon. And then it gets discarded at the end of your turn, but you're discarding your energy with Dragonium Z, so it doesn't really matter. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, because the issue here is that you've got to discard all your basic energy. So technically, if you attach this to an evolved Pokemon that's got Dragon Claw, you can use a GX attack for a triple acceleration energy. It just will do 0 damage. So, you know, maybe don't. Just putting that out there. But we've got a lot of good ways to accelerate energy at the moment. If you want to go water energy, you can use Naganadel to accelerate water energy to itself, and Quagsire to move that water energy to the active. If you're going for psychic Pokemon, you can use Malamar, which accelerates energy pretty gosh darn nicely. In Fire decks, you've got Welder, that will accelerate energy pretty tidily. And then you've got some more niche uses like Magnezone, but they're not seeing a huge amount of play at the moment. But we've got some good ways to accelerate energy here. Not to mention, of course, Beast Ring. Now, as it stands, there are no Ultra Beasts that have Dragon Claw. If they did, this would be awesome, because then you could just Beast Ring and you'd be fine. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, not the deal here. Sorry about that. You could use it onto a Pheromosa and Buzzwole, and then use Tag Switch to move 2 of those energy over, though I do fear that is getting slightly awkward. Possible. It's viable, but it's not good viable, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry your pretty little heads about it. So which Pokemon can actually use this attack? If only there was a place where we could go and get a nice handy list of all of them, and there is. Cerebi.net, a lovely website you should all be using on a regular basis, does have a move index for the trading cards where you can select a move and it will tell you all the Pokemon that have ever had it. Want to know the very first Pokemon that ever had Dragon Claw? It was Salamence from EX Dragon. Boom. Now, many of them have rotated out, but we've got a few that haven't. So, in terms of the ones that are relevant here, a lot of the time what we're looking for is basic Pokemon. Because what you can do is just put a basic Pokemon into a Malamar deck or a Fire deck with Welder, and then you can just attach this, and then accelerate a bit of energy, and go. There's a Kamera deck which has been doing alright in Japan. I'm going to be showing you that as soon as we've shown all the cards from Miracle Twin. And both Numel and Kamera have Tackle, and the deck plays Welder to accelerate fire energy. So what they've been doing is playing Normalium Z, so that they can just chuck it in because they're using Kamera and they're using Welder. And that's kind of what we're looking for here. We're looking for a basic Pokemon that we can chuck into a deck that's accelerating energy anyway, and then just have one basic Pokemon, one Dragonium Z, and use it. Now, we can use Jangmo-o. There is a basic Jangmo-o that can totally use this attack. I don't think you should. It's got 60 HP, it's incredibly weak. But you can. If you want a beefier basic, to be honest, if you want a basic, probably the best option here is the Druddigon from Dragon Majesty. Now, the downside here is very little. It's got 110 HP, it's got a retreat cost of 1, so it's just a better option. Plus, it's got a really nice ability, whereas if it's damaged by an opponent's attack, even if it's knocked out, you put 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. So make no mistake about it, if you just want a Dragonium Z user, I'm putting my stick in the ground here, I'm planting my flag. Druddigon from Dragon Majesty is, I would say, by some margin, the best option. It's got Dragon Claw, it's got a retreat cost of 1, and that ability, Rough Skin, is really going to come in handy against a whole bunch of people. I like it very much indeed. If you don't want a basic Pokemon, we do have a couple of options, and by options I mean Salamence or Dragonite. As in, your only options, okay, there's a Hakamo-o, but no. No. Your options here are Salamence and Dragonite. That's what you've got. In terms of Salamence, we do have the one from Celestial Storm. And the one from Celestial Storm's quite nice. If it's in the active, you can drag one of your opponent's bench Pokemon active. It's really kind of cool. Thing is, it's not a particularly good stage 2, and you're probably relying on something like Lance. And you can play it with something like Lance, but I don't know how much I love it. We've also got the promo Salamence, Sun and Moon 140, and that one's also got an ability that lets you drag your opponent's Pokemon active. It's a reprint. So that's kind of cool, if you're into that Salamence. In terms of Dragonite, we've got the original Dragonite GX, the one from Dragon Majesty, but this is where we get into potentially slightly awkward territory, because that's got a GX attack, a really quite nice one, that puts 3 Dragon Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench, no matter what stage they actually are. So I can see people wanting to use this Dragonite. If you want to use it to attack, this will work quite nicely. We've also got the Dragonite from Team Up. Now, the Dragonite from Team Up also has a really nice ability. Once during your turn, you may search for a supporter card and put it into your hand. If you can get away with playing this, whether as a traditional Evolving Up Stage 2, or whether you're playing it with Lance Prism Star, you get an awesome ability and a really nice GX attack. I am down with it. And then we've got the new Dragonite GX, which can also use it. Incidentally, while we're talking Dragonite, don't forget we have got the new non-GX Dragonite, which has an ability, once during your turn, you may attach a water and a lightning energy from your hand to your Pokemon in any way that you like. If you want to be accelerating basic energy to use a GX attack, and you're playing Dragonite anyway, legitimate option. The problem is this new Dragonite GX also has a GX attack. You may discard as many cards from your hand as you like, and then draw until you've got 10. The ideal situation is you're not using this, but, you know, if you're desperate, it can work. The thing is, this new Dragonite GX, you can use triple acceleration energy. It does 270 for 5 energy. Discard 3 of them. But you can use triple acceleration energy. So if I'm piling energy onto this one and discarding it, I'm doing probably 270 and keeping a couple of energy on there, rather than worrying too much about using Dragonium Z. So where do we fall with Dragonium Z? Is it any good? The answer is I love it with Druddigon. Outside of Druddigon, you've got worse basics, and you've got Salamence and Dragonite. And look, if you're playing the Salamence and Dragonite, most of them are good cards, and I think they are absolutely worth playing, but I'm not 100% convinced. And incidentally, if you just want to put a basic Pokemon and a Z Crystal into your deck, just to give yourself a GX attack, I think I like this as a tech more than the others. Normalium Z does 200 damage for 4 energy. Flip a coin till you get tails, 40 more for each heads. You might only end up doing 200, that might not be enough. Flyinium Z, 4 energy, 180 and immunity next turn. I love getting the immunity, but I don't love the fact that you're only doing 180, which might not be enough. If you want to smash and get big KOs, I think this is the best one we've had so far. I'm giving it 4 Wassies. I really like it. But I'd like to know how you feel about it. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about games that don't have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.